I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I got the looks that drives the girls. While I got the moves that really move. I send chills up and down their spine. I'm just a sexy boy. Sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. You are a boy toy. Shawn Michaels, what do you mean you're not a boy toy? You know Shawn Michaels? You know what I don't like about you, Shawn Michaels? Your theme song, the lyrics of your theme song, it's a bunch of BS. And Jim Johnston, you turned a blind eye to it. Bret Hart, just the expert in eye examining, or eye examination. Where's my camera? Hold up. Where's the camera at? There it goes. Shawn Michaels, your boy toy. You stinking hyena. You Texas piece of trash. I could have been a cowboy too. Shawn Michaels. What year did Shawn Michaels start wearing the cowboy hat? Was that 96? I make them hot. I make them shiver. Their knees get weak. Whenever I'm around, Shawn Michaels, you get weak. You hyena. I had sunny days. And you had sunny nights. And Chris Candido had sunny on the weekends. Bitter Bret Hart. The gripping series continues on this channel. But this episode, the boy toy, as I get my notes here. The boy toy. Now, this is gonna be, I guess, this might be part one actually. Pre-screw job, and then leading to screw job, and then maybe post screw job. So let's go pre-screw job. Now, Bret Hart, and somebody made an excellent point a few days ago in the comment section. They say Bret Hart was so bitter. You know, episode 1 and 2 is about Bret's feud with Hogan, mainly in 93, and Bret's feud with Flair in 92. And someone made a great point saying when Bret was going to finally get pushed to the main event, he didn't realize how fortunate he was, because it was literally, you know, the steroid era and trial was tearing the company apart. So they had to pivot to something else. So Bret Hart benefited from the fact that the roid trial happened, and they had to pivot from the big hulking cartoon characters. So if we're getting rid of the big monster characters, then, you know, the next best thing are the Shawn Michaels of the world and the Bret Harts of the world. So he actually benefited from that scandal. But Bret Hart, did he ever acknowledge that? He actually benefited from it, because if that scandal did not happen, Bret Hart might have been a mid-carder his whole career. He might have only been an Intercontinental Champion his whole career. Hit the like button. XDN wins. That's the name on the Cash App. If you want to support the channel, or if you have a video idea for a future video, you can donate to XDN wins on the Cash App and tell me what it is you're requesting. I don't do $5 videos. I'm not a Puerto Rican. Now, pre-screw job, the bitterness of Bret Hart towards Shawn Michaels, because Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart's feud did not start because of Montreal. It did not start in 1997. It slowly developed 94, 95, and then at a peak 96. Well, I guess the peak was 97, but it reached heights in 96. Now, the feud or the dislike was around like 94, 95. Bret Hart noticed, like many people did, Shawn Michaels was becoming more erratic, more of an egomaniac, more of an a-hole. And Shawn Michaels was very disrespectful to a lot of people behind the scenes, whether they deserved it or not. But then, you know, you had the clique and everything. And then, you know, Bret Hart, he kind of had his own crew, but it wasn't some political, you know, war zone like the clique had made it. And then obviously the height of their feud was 97, but it wasn't just a screw job. The screw job was a screw job for many reasons, and a lot of the things that led up to the screw job was the increasing tension behind the scenes. And let's start here. The sunny days comment. Now this video, this Shawn Michaels, like I said, this might be like a 3-parter right here for just Shawn Michaels alone. But the sunny days comment, the backstage warfare before 1997, or before the Survivor Series 97 rather, Shawn Michaels implied on WWF television, live television, that Bret Hart was in fact having an affair with World Wrestling Federation. Were they called divas at the time? Let's say diva. Good Lord. Tammy Lynn Sitch, or Sonny. This comment was said to have enraged Bret Hart into a physical fight behind the scenes, which led to a brutal altercation where Bret Hart actually ripped the hair out of Shawn Michaels' scalp while Jerry Lawler had his tights around his ankles in the stall taking a dump. Lawler jumped up, didn't even wipe, ran to go break it up as Bret Hart was going to pummel the Heartbreak Kid. Oh, he was going to give him a blind eye. Lawler was on the toilet with his tights around his ankles when he heard a commotion of a brouhaha. A fisticuffs had broken out. The fallout from the Sunny Days comment. Now, Sunny was she got around like a Tupac song. And, Sunny has been alleged over the years to be banging British Bulldog, banging Chris Candido, which is true, banging Shawn Michaels, banging Bret Hart, banging the Sandman for pills, banging Sabu for more pills. But somehow she avoided hopping on New Jack's pogo stick. Did she get with Ahmed Johnson? Did she get Pearl River plunged? The fallout of their physical fight that happened because of the Sunny Days comment, Bret Hart violently, as I said, he tore a chunk of hair out of Shawn Michaels' head, which after this, if you ever saw, I forget which side, but there's, to this day, well, I guess Shawn Michaels is bald now, but when he had his hair for years, you could always see like a part was missing. And Cornette, that piece of trash, he always said that he picked up the hair and kept it in a plastic bag because he's a weirdo. But Bret Hart was viciously assaulting Shawn Michaels, ripping his hair out, the boy toy, stinking hyena, before security and backstage officials had to break them up and separate them. This sparked what was already a building absolute hatred. This vicious personal rivalry laid the toxic groundwork directly leading into the Montreal Screwjob. People in 94, 95, 96 behind the scenes were getting very fed up with Shawn Michaels and his attitude. The problem is he's a top guy, and if you say something to him, that will end your career, blackball you, you couldn't say anything about it. And if you could, you had to be Bret Hart or Undertaker. And even if they said something about it, what was really going to happen? Because at the time, no one's a draw. So even other top guys, what's going to happen about it? Nothing. I never heard a story. Did Undertaker ever try and confront Shawn Michaels at this time about his attitude? You never hear these type of stories. You hear the story about WrestleMania 14 where Undertaker was getting annoyed because Shawn Michaels was acting like he didn't want to put over Austin, but then it happened. But you never hear Undertaker confronting Shawn Michaels in 95 about his attitude. You never hear that. Why is that? Undertaker's always been promoted as some locker room leader. And I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're going by longevity, Shawn Michaels is in the company longer than Undertaker, so maybe that was a thing. I don't know. But people were sick of Shawn Michaels and his attitude and his whole clique and everything. And then, Shawn Michaels was very insecure and he was on this and he was on that. And him and Bret Hart were said to have been cordial and maybe even friends in 91, 92 before they became top guys. And then they just split apart. And then, the Sunny Days comment, the whole, there was some, I want to say there was some controversy about there was some controversy around when Diesel was the champion, something about I forget what it was. Maybe Diesel didn't want to lose the belt, but he had to lose the belt so he can go to Bret, so then Bret and Shawn could happen. And then Shawn Michaels got on Nash in a car ride about Nash not wanting to drop the belt or something like that. But I have to go look that up again. But I remember Nash saying something like Shawn Michaels yelled at him because Shawn Michaels was supposed to be the next champion, but Diesel had the belt, but he needed to lose to Bret so then Shawn could beat Bret at WrestleMania 12 or something like that. But in 96, I think when Bret Hart lost to Shawn Michaels, he might have felt Shawn Michaels didn't appreciate that he put him over. And then Bret Hart, he takes some time off. Then he signs that huge 20-year contract. Then McMahon regrets it. And then they're having their feud explode, the Sunny Days. And then let's not forget Vince McMahon, the great manipulator he was. He played them against each other behind the scenes. And let's not even get to Montreal. That's a whole like another 30-minute episode. But his bitterness over Shawn Michaels. This always set him off. The Sunny Days comment just set Bret Hart off for some great reason. And it's like Bret Hart always promoted himself as being, righteous and honorable and all these things. So why was he so bothered by this comment? If you didn't have a sunny day, why did it bother you? Oh, well, my wife was watching. She saw this episode where Shawn Michaels had said that, and she was offended. So your wife sent you off? Was your wife Jada Pinkett and you're Fresh Prince? What are your thoughts on this? Bret Hart's bitterness over the Sunny Day Shawn Michaels comments. Where is that Shawn Michaels? Did Cornette put that chunk of Shawn Michaels hair on eBay? Leave your thoughts in the comment section on this. Like the video, share the video, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. If you want to support the channel, once again, you can donate to the Cash App. It's XDN Wins on the Cash App. I'm up out of here. Check out the latest uploads, and that is it.